Hey, hello, and happy Sunday. It's Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, August the 25th. It's another Sunday. I hope y'all had an amazing week, and if you're watching this later on YouTube, it's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. If you do not want to see all the hi hellos, just go ahead and grab the little scroll bar and pull it over to about 10 minutes because that's when it kind of dies down. But we are having a live chat right now, and I'll just remind everybody during the live chat, you can do thumbs ups and hearts to let us know how you're thinking. If you're watching this later, if you're watching it on YouTube later, on youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. If you're watching it later on Facebook, or if you are watching it later somewhere else, like on the blog, www.ifyouhaveanegg.com, or somewhere like that, then you will have to just comment, because you can't do the thumbs ups or the hearts unless you're watching with us live. And I'm hoping that it's going to let us, oh, yep. Okay, I started to say I was a little late on the comments, so on the first comment, so it made me a little nervous. Because, you know, sometimes Facebook has special issues. And hello, Renee. But I hope everybody had a great week. Y'all did great on your homework. We're going to talk about your homework here in just a second. Hello, Sylvia from Canada. Hello, Marianne. We had a great weekend this weekend with Alyssa off and on. We ended up with her off and on this weekend. Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Barbara from the Crossroads, and it is much cooler, but I still have the humidity hair going on because it was starting to sprinkle here when I took Dusty out for his last potty walk before we started. Hello, Bernice. Hello, Teresa from Kentucky. And Robin's back. Hi, Robin. It's good to see you. Hello, Rosie. It's good to see you too. Yeah. Oh, and thanks. Gosh, Barbara. Barbara says, love the top. This is, I don't know, a shirt that John got me somewhere, but I do like this color though. And Vicky says this week was great. That is awesome. Hello, Sherry from Connecticut. And hello, Sandy from northeastern Kansas. So yeah, I hope everybody had a great week this week. Hello, Sue from Christchurch, New Zealand. So happy that you were here, and it is tomorrow. So for everybody else, today is Sunday, August the 25th. And for Sue from Christchurch, New Zealand, today is Monday, August the 26th. Am I right? Am I right about that, Sue? And yep, Melissa says happy Sunday. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Jennifer says hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. So yeah, you get 3. Hello, Stacy. Stacy's excited to be here. Hello, Wanda from Southern Arizona. And hello, Betty. She just got home from a 6-hour trip. Whoop. Oh, wait, from a 6-hour trip an hour ago. Yeah, she went to Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Sounds like fun. Yeah, and Teresa says they're getting some much needed rain in central Kentucky. I totally understand that. Hello, Trish from sunny Irvine, California. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Roberta from Ohio. Hello, Stacy from Nova Scotia, Canada. Awesome. Hello, Heather. And hello, Kathy from Iowa. Just a reminder, if you're brand new, oh, aloha, Kathy. Another Kathy. We have like a ton of Kathys here. A ton. Every single week we have a ton of Kathys. And yep, Sue says I'm correct. It is tomorrow. It is Monday. So for everybody else, today is Sunday. For Sue, it is Monday. But just a reminder, if you're brand new, so if you've never been with us live before, then just please give us a hey, hello, because we would love to say hi to you and welcome you to one of our lives. And let's see, Jennifer says she's ready for all things fall and the holidays. Yeah, it's been hot enough here. I mean, I like summer, don't get me wrong. I love having a tan, but I'm kind of ready for some cooler weather too. It was especially hot this summer. I forget how many days in a row we had of over 90-degree temperatures. But hello, Patty from Oak Hill, West Virginia. Oh, and thank you. It's just an old golf shirt. But anyway, thank you very much. And hello, Alicia. Hello, Kathy from Ohio. And hello, Carol Lou says, sorry, she is late. She is staying at her son's house. Oh no, while her daughter-in-law's in the hospital. Oop. Okay, well, I can't read the whole thing right now, Carol Lou, but hopefully you all can read that. And thank you all for the hearts. I really appreciate them. Hello, Lynn, and good evening, Carol. It's good to see you, Carol. I haven't seen you in a little while, I don't think. Hello, Sherry. And Barbara says 13. Oh, we had 13 days. So Barbara checked it for me. We had 13 days in the 90s. And I know those of you all in like Arizona and places like that are thinking, what's 13 days in the 90s? But it's like 13 days in the 90s plus like 150% humidity, if that's even possible. But yeah, just, you know, it's the sweaty hot, you know, it's the very, very sweaty hot. And hello, Tammy. And I'm going to have a lot of drink because, again, East Tennessee, we have a couple of special times a year and when you cannot possibly take enough Zyrtec, and this is one of them. So we'll be drinking a lot of my water tonight, Barbara. Did not get a chance to do my nails again yet. Still super upset about that, and because we did have Alyssa a couple of times this week. These are the nails that I'm doing for next week. And I did snag them from Casey. One is a retired color and one is an exclusive color. Hello, Vicky. So I'm super pumped about those. And I'm going to take my time because I want them to come out just perfectly. Because this one, check it out. It's like little paisleys. Anyway, I want those to come out perfectly. And let's see. Hello, Vicky and Teresa said one day she ran. It was, and it was 99 degrees. No, that's a big fat no. Yeah, that is a no. And thank you, Lynn. And Barbara says, I like the cup. Where did you get it? So Barbara, because you live here, I can tell you. So I got this at Home Goods. They had them, I don't know, it's been a few months ago. But I got them, let's see, they had a couple of different colors. So I think I got them for us for one of our Disney trips so that we could have different colors so we would know, whose cup it was. I'll sneak and take another sip while I have it up. Okay, but anyway, so today is Sunday, August the 25th, or unless you're Sue, and it is Monday, August the 26th, because she lives in New Zealand, which I think is super cool. But anyway, hopefully y'all had a great week. I have to say, and yes, Sandra, I love Home Goods too. I have to say, you all did supreme on your homework this week. You all had one of your best showings on homework this week. And if you are, Alicia says they have Home Goods in Idaho now. Awesome. And Carol says it was in the 70s there today. And Sandra loves Home Goods. I do too. I have to say, this was probably in your top 5 response to your homework, so a lot of y'all got Bravo stickers this week. A lot of y'all will get Bravo stickers tonight. So apparently happiness was a great topic for WW to have, because a lot of y'all did your homework. So let's talk a little bit about last week. So who sat their bottom in a little chair last week? So we'll talk about our topic from last week after I find out who attended. So who sat your bottom in a little chair last week? Give me a thumbs up. If you sat in a chair, if you attended a physical workshop and attended and sat your little bottom in a chair, give me a thumbs up. And if you were here with us last week live, or if you did both, let's see some hearts. Lynn did both. Let's see some hearts. Sandra did both. Okay, lots of hearts, some thumbs ups, but lots of hearts. So it looks like a lot of you all did both. Yep, bravo. So to everyone who attended last week, physically or here or both, very good. Lots of bravos, lots of Bravo stickers. Hello, Joyce from Ann Arbor, from west of Ann Arbor. So lots of you all went last week. So who did your homework last week? So raise your hand if you did your homework last week and say me, 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 because a lot of you all did your homework, a whole lot of you all. And we'll talk about what the homework was in just a second. So let's see. Oh no, Barbara put hashtag no bottom in a chair. I'm afraid I've created a monster in Barbara. Not really a monster, Barbara. I don't mean a monster, but I like to do hashtags that are like this long just to irritate Casey. And Barbara is part of my hashtag club. So Barbara had hashtag no bottom in chair. And Trish says me, me, me. Lynn says me. Yeah, so I personally did not get to sit my bottom in a little chair last week. So we were having some issues with John's mom. So anyway, but she seems to be doing better on the medicine this week. So we can talk about that later. Hello, Kim. But lots of you all did your homework last week. So I'm seeing lots of me, me, me's, lots of hands up. Sandy, me, me, me. Alicia's got her hands up. Teresa says me. So Marianne says me. Yeah, lots of hands up. So those of you who did your homework, I heard lots and lots and lots of things. Lots of great things. We were talking about, a lot of y'all were talking about grandkids. I saw vacation pictures. I saw, oh my gosh, so many happy things. So like people that were finding their happy spot. So I asked you all to find something that you could do for 60 minutes. And Vicky's bottom was in a chair. So hello, Andrea. So I asked y'all to find, hold on just a second. It is Patricia's first time here. So everybody, Patricia is right here. So everybody wish Patricia a happy first time with us. And Patricia, since you've never been with us before, the little shake, 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 jingle, jingle, jingle noise that you just heard is Dusty. And we will meet him at the very end of our chat. But apparently, whatever I just said, he apparently thought that there was gonna be food involved, because he came jumping off the couch and came running over here. But anyway, welcome to Patricia. So glad that you were here. And yes, Patricia is. Rosie says, welcome, Patricia, our new egglet. You are our new egglet. So whether you knew it or not, you are our new egglet. Hello, Tedders. It's so good to see you. Anyway, so there was lots of happiness last week. I asked you all to find something to spend an hour doing something. So even if you couldn't spend, Alicia says, happy first visit. So I asked y'all to spend an hour last week. Hold on a second. Hit too soon. Okay, Sharon says there are no meetings closer than 30 miles from her. So this apparently is going to be her meeting, and it is her first time here too. So Sharon is going by right here just now. So everybody welcome Sharon as well. So glad that you're here, Sharon. And we literally go over the exact same thing that they do in the meetings, except I Kellyfy it. I kind of egg lady it up. So it might be a little bit different, but yeah, but you can definitely use this as a meeting. So I try to cover everything that they did in the physical meetings or the physical workshops. So anyway, so welcome here, Sharon. So good to see you. So last week I asked you to do 60 minutes of something that made you happy. I know how hard is that? And even if you couldn't do 60 minutes all at one time, that you could do, hello Sherry, I'm sorry, Sherry was welcoming people. But even if you couldn't do 60 minutes all at one time, maybe if you could do 2 30 minutes, or if you could do 3 20 minutes, or something like that. But to find something that you could do for an hour, that makes you happy. And let me just tell you, you ladies did not disappoint. You also did not have any trouble finding. Oh, sorry. Oh, goodness. You also did not have trouble finding something that would make you happy. So lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of homework turned in. Seriously, like in your top 5 weekly participations. So bravo stickers, extra bravo stickers to everybody who did their homework. Hopefully I caught you all. Hopefully you all tagged me as you were posting your homework. And if I didn't get you, please just shout out and I'll try to go back and find your post. Oh, and Wanda says being here makes me happy, and it lasts for an hour. So how coincidental is that? But if I didn't catch you, like if I didn't give you your Bravo sticker wherever you tag me, like if you were on Facebook or if you were on Instagram or Connect, and if I didn't give you your Bravo sticker, just kind of give me a shout out and I'll go back and find you. But I think I caught all of them because there were quite a few of them. So last week we were talking about happiness last week. This was your weekly from our last meeting, and we were talking about happiness. Again, you all, for your hour, you had lots of things. We had lots of baths without kids or husbands. We had lots of book reading. We had lots of, somebody went to a movie by themselves, which isn't entirely a bad idea to go by yourself. We had lots of playing with grandchildren. We had lots of going to see new grandchildren. We had lots of, oh my gosh, it was just all kinds of things. And a lot of them, what made me so happy was that a lot of them were things that were for you. So, like things that would make, I don't know, to your benefit. So, but that also involved a lot of them other people, like seeing your new grandbaby. So that's very, it's a very, very happy moment. What we're going to be talking about tonight also being happy plays a little part in it. Not a little part, actually it plays a pretty big part in it. So we're going to talk about that tonight. The recipe from last week was the not going to pronounce it correctly. Hello Irma. The radicchio goat cheese and fig pizza. Just wondering if anybody tried that, because I don't know, that one looked weird to me, so I did not try it. But that was last week. This week's topic, again, since I did not make it to a physical meeting, I have it on my phone, but I want to talk real quick about our interim topic. So we talked in the second half of, hello Shirley, we talked in the second half of our meeting or our workshop last week in the extra credit part. We talked about the mind diet, if you all remember that. So we talked about food that we could eat that would help, with memory and help with mental clarity, and things like that. And I'm just wondering if anybody tried anything off of the mind diet. So we talked about, so what Alicia, what did you try? Oh, you tried this? You tried this, Alicia? Did you try this with the figs and it was really good? I don't know. I'm just curious. I like figs, I think. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've tried any, but I'm just curious if anybody tried anything off of the mind diet. So it was things like salmon, and I know some of you all do. Oh, it was good, Alicia. Good. I know some of you all don't eat salmon, but other kinds of fish were included in there. Oh, and it's another Sherry, and it's her first time catching us live, and she's right here, and it's Sherry, Sherri. Hello, Sherry. Welcome to our group. We're so happy that you're here. And we've just really gotten started, so thank you very much for letting us know that you're here. We're talking about the second half of last week's chat when we were doing the mind diet, which is, hello, Jennifer, which, is, and Teresa says she already mostly eats that way. That is awesome, Teresa. So I've been trying to, no pun intended, but I've tried to be mindful, of this all week. And I really tried to think about it while I was getting some things at the grocery store this week. I didn't buy a whole lot at the grocery store this week because we got a whole lot last week. But some of the things, like green leafy vegetables, let's see, nuts, berries. Of course, I don't eat a lot of nuts because of the high, because of the high points, but Berries. Berries are very good for you. And I actually talked to a friend she's diabetic. She's type, let me think, which one's the worst one? Type 2 diabetic. And she has to eat gluten-free. And she just has all these little sugar, issues, and then the gluten-free issues. And she said berries is one of the things that her doctor really, really, really pushes is berries. So, that helps with other things besides just the, Mind diet and with WW also. Okay, so she has type 1 then. Thank you, Rosie. Beans, whole grains, fish, poultry, olive oil, and wine. Remember, 1 small glass of wine was included in that diet. And then some of the things to stay away from: red meat, stick butter, cheese. That one was a sad one for me. Pastry, sweets, and junk food, fried or fast foods. So we did try to eat, some more on that this week. John and I are trying to take our lunch every day this coming week. So we will see how we do on that. But if you missed it last week, this was a diet. Ooh, and Lynn made lentils. How is that? This is a diet that is supposed to help with mental acuity and hello, Sandra. Yeah, I know, Sandra. Yeah, we're an hour ahead of you. But mental acuity, and this is something that my mother-in-law's Alicia did wine with the radicchio, however you pronounce it, pizza. So good job. But to help with my mother-in-law's dementia. So we tried this last week. So if you missed that, if you know somebody who is having some memory problems, or if you just want to avoid that for the future, you can go back and watch last week's chat. It is already up on YouTube. It's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, and it is under the Mind Diet. So okay, let's go on to this week. This week we're talking about my favorite subject. It is literally my favorite subject, and that is sleep. So this is chat number 136, and it is entitled Set Yourself Up for Sleep. So it is literally my favorite subject. Don't get to do a whole lot of it, but it is my favorite subject. And Casey can tell you, when she was little, when she was in elementary school, she made me president. Hello, Jackie. She made me, I know, and Wanda, I like Radical Pizza better too. And that is a cuter name, and it's easier to say. But when Casey was in elementary school, she made me president of the nap club. And I was a proud founding member of the nap club. So I'm all about sleep. I love some sleep. Don't get a whole lot of it, and don't get to partake in a lot of it. But when there's an opportunity, count me in. So this is chat number 136. Set yourself up for sleep. We're actually going to continue talking about sleep into the second half of the chat, into the extra credit portion of the chat, because like last week, I think the Mind Diet, even though we were still talking about food, I think it was really important to think about, and I think it is really important to think about some other things than just weight loss. So don't pass out on me if you're here just to lose weight. But I think it's important to talk about some other things, because all of these things hand in hand, all of these things tied together, hand in hand. us, very smart people. Like Betty's going to go to sleep as soon as this is over. So some very, very smart people have realized that all of these things in conjunction, so all of these things tied together, happiness, diet, exercise, sleep, did I already say happiness? Whatever. All of these things tied together do help in your weight loss. It does help in weight management. It does help with just overall health. So a lot of smart people are putting this together. So I think we should do it some credit and talk about the sleep continuing into the extra credit portion. But for the first part, this was your weekly this week, and I didn't get one yet because I was not physically there. So that was the weekly this week, and then here is this week's recipe. It is Korean barbecue chicken lettuce cups with cucumber salad, and that sounds super, super good. So I would love, hello Sylvia. So I would love to try that one. But that one, let's see if it has if it has anything from last week in there. It does have Persian cucumbers. Cucumbers were one of the things that were on there. Sesame oil, maybe. Chicken breast, yeah. Butter, lettuce, the leafy vegetables, yeah. Those, kinds of things. Cilantro, sesame seeds. Those were all definitely on the Mind Diet list. So those would be good. So the set yourself up for sleep. Okay. So why? Why does sleep matter? If we're here for WW and if we're here just for weight loss, then why does sleep matter? So I will say, sleep does matter because when you're tired, you can get angry or hangry. You can get, and you start thinking of things. Like I know when I'm tired, I start thinking of sugary things to eat. I don't have to do Oh, and Marianne doesn't sleep well, so she does need some ideas. So this is going to be perfect, Marianne. You stay through to the second half. And Sherry says she lost us. Hopefully everybody else is okay. But some of the things that happen to your body when you don't get enough sleep, you start to get sluggish. You start to make bad decisions. Maybe you're not thinking clearly. I know I start thinking, if I get super, super tired, I start thinking of sugary things. And I'm not necessarily a sweet eater. I mean, I do like sweet things, but I'm all about savory. I'm chips, I'm popcorn, I'm pretzels, I'm all those kinds of things. But when I'm super tired, I start thinking sweet. And I think it's because I think I'm going to get a little sugar rush, but you all know what it is. It's little. It doesn't last very long. So what they say in our weekly this week is you hardly need science to tell you the benefits of a good night's sleep, but here they are anyway. Beyond setting you up to have a good day, because if you get a good night's sleep, you're in better position to have a good day. And if you're in better position to have a good day, you're in better position to make better decisions. So beyond setting you up to have a good day, research has linked sleeper to a stronger immune system. We all need that. Teresa, I know. Let's see, improved concentration and a better mood. And I think we do eat better, when we're in a better mood. And when you don't get enough, what happens? You feel draggy, cranky. Sure, getting less than 6 hours per night repeatedly has also been linked to overeating and weight gain. So it's been linked to overeating and weight gain. So not getting enough sleep has been linked to overeating and weight gain. Yeah, that is not good. I can understand that though. And it says, although different people need different amounts of rest, it's recommended that adults get 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day. I'm lucky if I get 7. Lucky. No matter what your sleep sweet spot is, it helps to have a regular bedtime routine and the activities that you do roughly 30 minutes before bed, which can help you relax and prep your body for a solid rest. So the things that you're doing leading up to this, that's what we're going to really focus on in the second half of our chat in the extra credit portion. But I'm wondering, I just want to do a quick survey. Who here? So it says 7 to 9 hours. So let me find this again. 7 to 9 hours. So who here is getting 9 hours? Okay, I'm sorry. Wanda says I can get queasy if I get really tired. Yeah, me too. If I really push it, like if I've stayed up, all night long, pushing, doing something, I get really nauseous. Yeah, really do. So who here? So let's get a thumbs up. Let's get a thumbs up if you get 9 hours of sleep a night. Let's do a thumbs up. I'm going to be curious to see if there's anybody, if there's any of us that are getting 9 hours. My thumb's is not up. Is there anybody getting 9 hours of sleep a night? Not seeing any thumbs. One person. A couple. Okay, so there's three people getting 4 people. It's not very many. And Wanda says, is that solid sleep? 9 is a lot. I agree with that, Kathy. I agree. Okay, so is there anybody? Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm agreeing with a lot of you all that are pushing up. Okay, is there anybody that's getting 8 hours? Let's see hearts. If you're getting 8 hours of sleep a night, let's see some hearts. Oh gosh, Barbara gets 5 hours of sleep at night and she's on sleeping pills. Oh my goodness. Well, maybe something that we're going to talk about tonight can help you. So let's see a heart. Or if you're watching this later on YouTube, or if you're watching it on the blog, www.ifyouhaveanegg.com, or if you're watching it later somewhere else, just comment. You can just comment 9, 8, you can comment whatever you get. Okay. If you're getting 7 or less. So if you're getting 7 hours or less, I know. Andrea says, I'm a mom, and she's a mom of an adorable toddler. I take sleep when I can. But she tries to get 8. So if you are getting 7 or less hours a night, let's go back to the thumbs ups. So 7 or less. 7 or less, let's do thumbs ups now. So if it's 7, 6, 5, if it's 7 or less, let's see some thumbs ups. And Betty says the bathroom wakes her up. So the bathroom is waking you up. Okay, that is nearly all of us. Almost all of us are getting 7 or less. Almost all of us. Yeah, and don't do a thumbs up or a heart, but if you're getting 6 or less, that is me. Yeah, so for those of us that are getting 6 or less, I really think we're pushing it. So I know part of my problem, you know, for why I'm getting 6 or less, part of my problem is I don't slow down to go to sleep. Part of my problem is I'm getting up way too early to do customer estimates, which we are trying to correct, because I want the customers and I love to do your estimates and I love to do your color boards, but it's, you know, costing me some sleep. And in part 2, which will be in 5 minutes, in part 2 of our chat, we will talk about one of the things that keeps me from getting 6. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of 5. Sherry says 5. Sylvia, lost yours. Okay, yeah, so a lot of you are getting 6 or less. 7 or less was a ton of people. So those of you who are watching this later on YouTube, or if you're watching it as a repeat on Facebook, there was a flurry of thumbs going up of people that were getting 7 or less. And Lacey says 5 to 6. I'm seeing a ton of 5 to 6. And Barbara says her brain won't stop going. Barbara, that's part of my problem. That is exactly part of my problem. Okay, so let's see what WW says to do. They say to build a bedtime habit. So they say, yeah, Lynn, 5 to 6. Sherry's doing pretty good, or Tedder's is doing pretty good, 7 to 8. Vicky's 6, yeah. And Betty, that dog, take him out before you go to bed. So he stays asleep. And Roberta says 6. Rosie says during the week she's getting 7. But anyway, so what WW, oh no, Marion, 4 to 6. Bless your heart. And Amy, congratulations, is getting 8. So what WW says to do: build a bedtime habit. Pick a calming activity you can do every night before bed, such as taking a bath or a shower or reading, but stay away from anything that involves an electronic device and try to turn that into a habit. Also, select a cue that triggers you to do the activity. This could be an alarm on your phone or the end of a scheduled TV show. Set the cue at a similar time each night so you maintain a consistent sleep schedule. I will say, John is on a terrible sleep schedule as well, but like he's in there right now, he has a, on Sorcerer Radio, he listens to the radio. On Sorcerer Radio, there's a particular show that comes on at 9 o'clock every night. So he listens to that at 9 o'clock. So that is his cue. That's the cue that he knows that it's time to go lay down in the bed and start to, you know, chillax. I'm not saying he goes to sleep at 9 and he gets up most nights, but at least that's his cue, though, that it's time to head in there. And Teresa says, I am taking my weekly and showing it to my boss. There you go. So is your boss the one that's keeping you up? And then they want us to highlight the reward. So WW wants us to look and see what the benefit is that you gain from doing the activity. So at first it may simply be that you feel more relaxed because you've had more sleep. Eventually you may be falling asleep faster. Hopefully Teresa's boss is going to see improvement in her work because she's had a relaxing night's sleep. So hopefully you all will see some benefit from this. So your homework is going to be to find one calming activity that you can do before bed. When we get to the second part of this, I'm going to say that you need to do that activity at least 30 minutes before it's time to go to bed. So whatever your homework's going to be, and you might want to watch the second part of this chat before you before you decide what it's going to be, or you might already know what you want it to be, but we're going to talk about some of these things in the second half. Yeah, and I get you, Stacy, her problem is staying asleep. And Andrea, you already cheated. You have gone ahead. You've gone ahead into the second part. But anyway, so we're going to pick something. So I want everybody to pick one thing, one activity that you can do, a relaxing, something that's going to calm you down before it's time to go to sleep so that you can go to sleep. Then we'll work on staying asleep, but something that you can do. So pick one thing and you're going to tag me in it. So you're going to tag me on Instagram. It's just it's the @ sign. And hold on. We're going to take just a second and I'm going to show you, well here, let me just show you on my phone what the @ sign is. And didn't we decide at one point that was the ampersand? Is that not what we decided? Let me just show y'all what that is. Now, it'll be easier to draw it. Hold on. So you're going to do the @ sign. Let me find something to write that on real quick. Real quick. I promise I'm coming right back. Scrap paper. I have all this paper here. Here, we're going to write it on the back of a coupon. Okay. This is the @ sign. So the @ sign. And it's just the @ sign. I don't know what else to call it. But anyway, so do the @ sign, because I had people doing hashtags, which are cool, which is awesome, but it's the @ sign. On Instagram, it's yes, very good, Barbara. It's @IfYouHaveAnEgg. Here on the Facebook page, it is also @IfYouHaveAnEgg. very good, Betty. On, let's see, on the in the Facebook closed group, it is at Kelly, Kelly, Green Milligan. But before you get the green typed in, my name should pop up. On Connect, it is at Scrapin Stamp 2, SCRAPN and a 2. And if you're watching it on YouTube or if you're on the blog, you can just type because I will see it. But do your homework. So I want everybody to do their homework. Pick one thing that you can do that's a calming thing 30 minutes before you're going to lay down. Sandra says crocheting. That's perfect. That is perfect. But you're going to start at 30 minutes before it is time for you to lay down. So like if you want to be in bed at 9, if you want to be asleep at 9, you're going to start this at 8:30. If you want to be asleep at 11, you're going to start this at 10:30. So you're going to, whatever this calming thing is. So you might want to maybe you already know something. So like Sandra already knows that crocheting helps. But if you don't know what's going to help, then stay tuned for part 2, because that is what we are going to talk about in part 2, and it is 8:31. So I'm going to take a break here for just a second. When we come back, this will be the second part of chat 136, Set Yourself Up for Sleep. And Carol asks if a glass of wine counts. If it's more than 30 minutes before, and if you're doing something calming with it, then sure. Except not too much alcohol, because that actually keeps you from staying asleep. But we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so we will come right back for part 2 of chat 136, and it is Set Yourself Up for Sleep. I will also say that when I mentioned the closed group just a second ago, if any of you all would like to join the closed group, please answer the 3 questions. We have 32 people. We still have 32 people that have not answered the 3 questions, and I can't let you in. So it's real easy. It's real easy. Okay, and Janice says wine works against sleep. Yeah, so I hate to say that, Carol, but it might help you go to sleep, but it's not going to help you stay asleep. Okay, let me get a sip of my water, and we'll be right back for part 2 for the extra credit. So hold on just a second. Y'all are doing some good advice down here. Good advice. I'll be right back. Okay, so I drink lots of water. We are back. This is part 2 of, and Sylvia says half a glass of wine puts me out. Yeah, it would be me too. So this is part 2 of chat 136, Set Yourself Up for Some Sleep. And in case you all didn't know this, Casey is dividing these up so that if you want to go back and watch them later, if you just want to watch the second half, the extra credit part, you do not have to go through the whole thing. So when she posts these, she posts the full 1-hour chat under the chat number. So like this one will be posted under chat 136, and then she posts the second half, the extra credit portion, because that's the part that people have most of the questions on, is the extra credit portion. So she does post it separately, and it is usually whatever that topic is. So like this one, we will be talking about sleep for the second half. And let me see, Patricia wants to know what the closed group name is. So Patricia, somebody might, so there are several people on here tonight that have the link to the closed group. If nobody posts it, I'll post it when we get done. But it is, if you have an egg, let me think, a Weight Watchers support group. So this page is If You Have an Egg, a Weight Watchers journey, and it is an open group. Hello, Connie. And it is an open group. It's open, so like everybody can see this and read it and come and and watch. And I do highly encourage you to share it, because it's for free. And that's how most of us got here, was somebody else recommended something else, recommended something else, recommended something else, and that's how we got here. The group, though, the closed group is If You Have an Egg, a Weight Watchers support group. That one is a closed group, so we try to keep out, I try really, really hard to keep out the weirdo people. I may even have to change the 3 questions, because I got a lot of people going yes, 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 and a couple of those people I've had to mute lately. Anyway, so if y'all would please answer the 3 questions, that would be awesome and amazing. So this is part 2. This is part 2, the extra credit portion of chat 136, Set Yourself Up for Sleep. So what we're going to talk about in this second half is some ways to go ahead to fall asleep, because I know some of you have trouble falling asleep. Your mind's going, your mind's racing, you're too hot, you're too cold, you're too up, you're too down, it's too Monday, it's too Friday, it's whatever, and you're having trouble winding down so that you can go to sleep. And then a lot of us are getting up in the middle of the night and having trouble going back to sleep, and some of us are just not getting good sleep. So I will go ahead and say, I am not a psychologist. Hello, Liz. I do not play one on TV. I am not a sleep therapist. I am not my sleep doctor. It's okay, Liz. We got to the best part. I do have a sleep doctor because I do have an actual sleep disorder that keeps me from being able to stay awake, which is probably why I'm president of the nap club. But sadly, my sleep disorder does not provide me. I want to sleep all the time, but it does not provide me with quality sleep. So I do always feel like I could lay down and take a nap, and I really probably could. I just wanted to say I'm not a medical professional, so all of this, any of this, everything I'm getting ready to say, if you have any real questions about it, like if it's anything that's out of the norm for you, please consult a medical professional first. Okay? So, some things that you don't want to do. Okay, here are some things that you don't want to do if you want to fall asleep faster, stay asleep, and let's see, wait a minute. Oh, Roberta's late and she's going to watch the replay. Yep, sounds good, but you're here. Okay, so if you want to fall asleep faster, if you want to stay asleep, and if you want a better quality of sleep, these are just some suggestions. Again, not a medical professional. These are just some suggestions. Okay, so we're going to start with don'ts. The first things, don't look at your clock. I'm super, super, super bad about that. If I'm trying to go to sleep, because I know I have a sleep disorder that makes me always want to sleep, but believe it or not, sometimes I have trouble when it's time to go to sleep. Like, this is falling asleep at inappropriate times, not when it's time to go to bed. Or if I wake up in the middle of the night and my brain starts going, I struggle from what is called clock watching. And I don't know if that's a real syndrome or not, but clock watching, which means you look at your clock and you go, oh man. And now here's what I do. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll go, it better not be later than 1 o'clock in the morning. It better not be later than 1 o'clock in the morning. And then when I realize it's going to be later than 1 o'clock in the morning, I go, it's going to be 2 o'clock. I know it's going to be 2 o'clock because I wake up every single night between 2 and 2:30. And then I'll start arguing with myself. I know it's going to be 2 o'clock. And when I roll over and look at that clock, it's going to be 2. It's going to be 2. It's going to be 2:10. It's going to be 2:15. I know it's going to be. And then I've only got 2.5 more hours before I have to get up. And, and I had this argument with myself about what time it is. Then when I finally, and where my clock is sitting, because Lynn says to turn it around, where my clock is sitting, I have to try really, really hard to look at it. But after I've gotten into this fight with myself about what time it is and what time it better not be, and I don't know who's going to be in trouble. So when I'm saying it better not be 1 o'clock, it better not be 2 o'clock, I don't know who I'm arguing with, because nobody's going to be in trouble if that happens. Anyway, so then when I look and it's 2:15, I'll go, great, it's 2:15. And then I'll lay back down and I'll go, it's 2:30. And I'll lay back down, it's 2:45, it's 3 o'clock, it's 3:15, it's 3:30. I got to get up in an hour. And then I start doing clock watching. So anyway, don't look at your clock. Don't look at your clock. Okay. Number 2, and this one breaks my heart. Don't nap during the day. Napping during the day, as good as it feels, I mean, unless you've just had like no sleep. Oh yeah, Kathy says she starts the argument, and if I go to sleep now, I'm only going to get X number of hours, of sleep, and then your brain starts, cranking out numbers, and you're not sleeping or not going to sleep. But napping during the day, unless you are just, literally, like if you've been traveling, like who was it that just got back from a long drive, 6-hour drive, and you've only been back an hour, you might need a nap. If we've just been going and not sleeping a lot, or like when my dad was so sick and when we were moving, I had to just catch a little nap, where I could. But as a matter of practice, try not to nap during the day, because you might still be able to go to sleep at night, but it actually disrupts, and I don't know the science behind that, but it actually disrupts your nighttime sleep if you have already slept during the day. So I think that has something to do with your circadian rhythm, which we're going to talk about in a second. Try not to eat high carb or heavy meals too close to bedtime. So really, we're super bad about eating late, but high carbs might make you sleepy, like sugar makes me sleepy. So high carbs might make you sleepy, but then they've got a quick burn, so they've got like a short half-life or whatever, but it's a quick burn. And when they're gone, then you're either going to get up hungry, or that kind of, carb, carb coma, whatever, is gone, and then you're up. So, and try not to eat really heavy meals, 4 hours before you go to bed, because I'm not saying that you can't digest it, and there's nothing wrong with laying down, because I've heard all that too, if you lay down or if you go swimming with any, so many hours after, but it's just because then your stomach's trying to digest it, you have stuff going to your stomach, you know, trying to digest your food instead of doing what it's supposed to be doing while you're asleep. So just try not to do that. Try not to use electronics at bedtime. So I know a lot of y'all said Headspace. So I love the the Headspace on the app. Love it. I love the meditation things. A lot of you all do ebooks. You know, like you like to read, you know, ebooks to calm down. There is actual real science behind the light. I think it's the blue light. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, that your phone gives off. So your phone, your iPad, any kind of a tablet, the television, anything like that, you know, electronics, try not to have that light, you know, on. Hello, Esther. Yeah. It's so good to see you, Esther. So we're talking about sleeping, and you're not sleeping, and you're not in New Zealand like Sue, so it's not tomorrow. And let's see, Esther's watching us from London on her, what's an Electo? What is that? Anyway, so try not to use any electronic devices when you're trying to go to sleep. So again, a TV, an ebook, cell phone, even in your bed, or even really in your bedroom, because that there is scientific proof behind that light, you know, that it disrupts your sleep. And unless you need to track your sleep, take off your fitness device. So I know Barbara. Ooh, Janice wears blue blocker glasses. What is that? What? What are blue blocker glasses? That's cool. Oh, yeah, Esther says, oops, my phone is on. That's how I can see you. Uh-oh. Yep, she's on her electronic gadget when she's supposed to be asleep. Yeah, Betty, exactly. She reads her Kindle in bed, but that's an electronic device. I know. I'm so sorry. Those of you who like to read your ebooks, read your Kindle, read your Nook, whatever, your tablet when you're in bed. But no electronic devices in bed, or even, you know, in use in your bedroom. And again, unless you need to track your sleep for some reason. I know Jenna says it has a blue blocker. Okay. Oh, Esther has lost 30 pounds. Yay. Good job, Esther. How many stone is that? Just out of curiosity. And somebody, who was it? Sue, I think, was telling us how many grams she had lost. I don't remember, but it was like a super high number, so it sounded even more exciting. But anyway, unless you actually need to track your sleep, take off your fitness band. So, it's 2 stone. That's exciting, Esther. But take off your fitness device. So I used to try and sleep. Now, when I had my Fitbit, I was wearing it to sleep so that I could see, you know, what my sleep cycle was. But honestly, when I would wake up, I would look at my Fitbit and I would look to see, oh man, now I'm gonna have this red line's gonna show up, and bleh, you know, and I try not to turn, and then I would get irritated, so that, you know, I would get irritated when I was, you know, getting up too much, or when it was showing that I was getting up too much. So take it off. When I switched to the Apple Watch, every single notification, I leave my cell phone out in the kitchen. So I'll leave it in the kitchen, just close enough that if the nursing home called for my mom, that I would hear the phone ring, because I have a very distinct ringtone for the nursing home. But for everybody else, I'm just going to try and sleep through you. But I leave my phone out here in the kitchen. But when I was wearing my my Apple Watch to bed, every stupid notification was coming through, and I was going, what is that? And looking at it. And I do have my Apple Watch set so that every time I turn my arm like this, that the light comes on, and it was waking me up. So anyway, I'm going to suggest taking off your fitness device unless you are trying to track your sleep, or unless you're using it as the alarm to wake you up. Okay. Don't drink caffeine for 4 hours. Drink or eat things with high caffeine in them 4 hours before bed. So for 4 hours before. And I have a few things here to show you. That have some caffeine in them. Okay, so energy drinks, not for 4 hours before bed. So an 8-ounce energy drink has approximately 80 milligrams of caffeine. A brewed cup of coffee has approximately 150. A drip, if anybody still has a drip coffee maker, that has approximately 100. Oh wait, hold on a second. Esther's daughter got married in New York City, and she was away for 14 days and still lost weight. She loves WW. Awesome. yeah, chocolate. Barbara's exactly right. Chocolate has caffeine in it. A soda, so like a Coke or something, and even diet ones, they still have 40 milligrams of caffeine in them. Instant coffee has 70 milligrams. Excuse me, I'm going to start sneezing. Has 70 milligrams in it. Espresso, 1 ounce of espresso. So that's a wee tiny bit. 1 ounce of espresso has 40. Decaffeinated coffee, even decaffeinated coffee has 5 milligrams of caffeine, so try not to drink it for 4 hours before bed. Hot chocolate. So I love hot chocolate, and I actually use hot chocolate sometimes, to wind down. Hot chocolate has approximately 5 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're having trouble going to sleep or staying to sleep, just check out what foods and drinks, that you're drinking and eating that have that. So I love hot tea, especially before bed. I will say this. So like this is just regular hot tea. And something that a lot of people don't think about is that regular tea, so regular hot tea, it has 40 milligrams of caffeine. Okay, so that is the same as drinking a soda. So like drinking a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or something like that. So that's 40 milligrams. If it doesn't say naturally decaffeinated, then it has caffeine. So a lot of people don't think of that. They think, oh, I'm having hot tea, I'm going to relax, and it's going to have a little bit of warm milk in it. So a hot tea, something that you could drink instead, is one that is naturally decaffeinated. If you're going to drink tea before bed, drink one that is naturally decaffeinated. There's tons of them out there. Or you can get something like this. This is Yogi Bedtime Tea. There's a lot of different kinds that are, that are good for bedtime, but this one has, let me just tell you, the ingredients are in here. This one has passion flower, chamomile, licorice, cardamom, and cinnamon to add, some flavor. But those are, yeah, and too bad English tea. Esther says, too bad English tea drinkers. Exactly. And Alicia, a lot of herbal teas have caffeine in them. If it doesn't say, here, let me show you, because this will say naturally decaffeinated on the, hold on, let me get right into the box here. I just got this one, so it's not actually open yet. But unless it says, just check out your tea and see where this one says, see where it says caffeine free. If it doesn't say caffeine free, then it has caffeine, even if it's herbal tea. And see, and that was a shocker for me and a shocker for a lot of people. Like, what? I'm drinking hot tea at night and it's not helping me go to sleep. Yeah, so it can have up to 40 milligrams of caffeine in it if it does not say caffeine free. A lot of food has caffeine in it too. Okay, so we could spend a whole nother night on foods that have caffeine in them. But anyway, sleepy time tea. Yeah, Tedder says sleepy time tea is good. Bedtime. This one is a bedtime, and it says supports a good night's sleep, and it's caffeine free. So even if you're not going to get one specifically for bedtime, just make sure it says caffeine free. Okay, so those are don'ts. Don't drink alcohol to go to sleep. So alcohol might help you go to sleep, but it does not help you stay asleep. So yeah, so try not to do that. So if you're going to consume alcohol, again, the 4-hour rule, you need all this kind of stuff that's going to either have caffeine or high fat or, oh, Barbara wants to know if this works. Yeah, so I already have this. This is just a new box of it. So I do drink the bedtime tea or the, Sleepy Time, which is from Celestial Seasonings, I think. Is that right, Tedders? So I do have both of these, and I try to, I just forget about it sometimes. So it's silly because it works. So maybe this will be my homework for this week, is to remember to drink my tea, my caffeine-free bedtime tea. And Alicia's exactly right. There's a lot of sugar and alcohol, so that's extra, stuff. What was I saying? Oh, about the alcohol. So it might help you to go to sleep, but it's not going to help you stay asleep because you're gonna wake up. So again, that 4-hour rule. So if you're going to consume alcohol, try to do it 4 hours before you go to sleep. And yes, it does have a lot of sugar and it has a lot of extra calories in it too. Okay, some things that you can do. So this is going to sound weird, and John says that I freeze him to death, but lowering the temperature can actually help you to go to sleep and to stay to sleep. Now, I'm not talking about make yourself miserable. He says I'm freezing him here lately. But you know, I'm 52, so I'm hot a lot. But when you start to go to sleep, your core body temperature goes down, but the temperature in your hands and feet goes up. So who has ever, let's see, Wanda wants to know if the tea would make a difference if it was cold instead of hot. Do you mean for keeping you asleep or helping you to go to sleep? I think the warmth of the tea helps you to go to sleep. I'm not talking scalding hot tea, but I think the warmth of the tea helps your body to know, oh, it's time to wind down. But have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and you had like one foot sticking out from underneath the covers, or you stuck your hands out, you know, or whatever? Well, your hands and your feet, the temperature go up at night. So, you know, there is something to be said for lowering the temperature before you go to bed. 60 to 75 seems to be the sweet spot. That does not mean that you can't use a blanket. So nobody said that. Nobody said that it can't, you know, that you can't use a blanket, but lowering the thermostat at night. So again, 60 to 75. 60, I think John would leave. He would go sleep somewhere else. I do lower our temperature to 68, and I turn on the ceiling fan, and it's still sometimes not even cold enough for me, but anyway, but it does help. I think 68 helps. Okay, get on a schedule. So think about babies. You would not let a baby switch its schedule every day like we do. It's no wonder that we're tired and we're sleep deprived, you know, and what else, because we're like, you know, okay, tonight I'll go to sleep at 11, tomorrow night it's gonna be midnight, the next day it's gonna be 10, then because I've been up late for the last 3 nights, you know, then I'm gonna go to bed at 8, and I'm gonna get up at, you know, 4, 7, 6, you know, whatever, and our wake and sleep, you know, cycle goes like this. So circadian rhythm, I know y'all have all heard of it, but remember when babies, when they get their nights and days mixed up, and you're like, oh, you try really, really hard to make sure that, you know, that the baby doesn't get its nights and days mixed up. So we do that. So we're doing that to ourselves every day. And bless your heart, people that have shift disorder, people that are working. Oh, Rosie says she's drinking the Tazo lemon. Okay, it's not caffeine free. I know it's only 5:50 there. So are you not going to bed until 9:50? You're not going to bed until 10, Rosie? Just keep in mind that has caffeine. So don't forget. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. There's been plenty of nights that I've had that right before bed, but it does have caffeine in it. But anyway, so think about trying to get on a schedule. So I know as adults that we can't plan every single hour of every single day, but shoot for a time. So pick whatever that time's going to be. If you say, you know what, no chance I'm getting 9 hours of sleep, I think that'd be pushing it. No chance I'm getting 8 hours of sleep. I'm going to try for 7 hours of sleep. Don't just say today it's going to be midnight to 7, and tomorrow it's going to be 11 to 6, and the next day it's going to be 10 to 5, and then it's going to be 12 to 7 again. Set a bedtime and try to stick to it. However many hours it's going to be, because it would be better. Again, I'm not a medical professional, but in my non-medical professional opinion, it would be better to have a bedtime and only get 6 hours of sleep, to have the same routine and get 6 hours of sleep a night, than to be all over the place just for your body's sake. Hand in hand with that, try to get as much daylight and darkness hours. So that does have to do with that setting the schedule. So and Loretta's going to watch us later on YouTube because she had company. Hello, Loretta's company. But try to get as much daylight and dark, you know, as you can. So think about people in Alaska when part of the year, you know, it's like nighttime all day. They have to bring in artificial lighting. They really, really, really suffer with that. People that are on other shifts, you know, like if you're working at night and then you are trying to sleep during the day, you're going to have to find some way to have daytime in the nighttime and nighttime in the daytime, you know, like room darkening shades. And there are lights that they make that have the same spectrum, you know, as daylight. So you might want to think about something like that. But that's part of that schedule, though. You know, I'm really, really having to work hard with John's mom and dad on that, because she does not have that rhythm anymore. Like, she doesn't have it's nighttime, so I need to go to bed. It's daytime and I need to be up. So we've been working really hard on it. And John has actually moved her medicine time back by, let me think, it's like 2.5 hours or something. And it's starting to get her back on a schedule where she's sleeping more at night and being awake more during the day. So try to do that. Give yourself 30 minutes to wind down before you go to bed. And I'm sorry, we have more than 5 minutes of stuff left to talk about. But anyway, so try to give yourself 30 minutes to wind down before bed. That's what we were talking about in the first half of the chat, was to do whatever it was that you were going to do to calm down, to relax, that you're going to do that 30 minutes before. Okay, some things that you can do. Do things like practicing yoga, which I don't do, sorry. Do things like meditation. Do things like being, mindfulness. We've talked about being mindful, on this WW journey. Do things like mindful, but try not to use your phone for that. Okay, so try not to use your phone for doing things like that. Do listen to relaxing music. So there are studies of people who listen to Buddhist music, who listen to just soft, soothing music, and there are lots of studies about them being, more peaceful sleeping, not quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Do exercise during the day. WW says that's good for our health, it's good for our weight loss, and it's good for our overall well-being. Yep, and Janice, we're getting to that. Janice, you're jumping ahead. I'm just kidding. But, exercise, just don't do it too close to bedtime. But exercise raises your serotonin level, which is something that you need to sleep, and it lowers your cortisol level, and cortisol is the stress hormone. So just don't do it too close to bedtime. Aromatherapy. Let's see, who was it? Janice just said that. So I use lavender when I diffuse lavender sometimes, and then also there's one called Peace and Calming. Lavender is a really good one, plus it smells really good. The only problem with my diffuser is it shuts off after about 4 hours, and I'm not kidding, sometimes I wake up. So I may have to get a diffuser that has a bigger volume, like that can stay on longer. And I will say this, if you have any trouble, like right now with our sinuses, and this really worked for Alyssa last night, I make an allergy balm that it really did help. It did help her to, because she was really struggling to breathe. It did help her, sorry, I was looking at another discussion. Anyway, but it did help her to breathe easier and to go on to sleep and to stay asleep. But it's 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of peppermint in the diffuser, and it helps with all of this junk. So we will be doing that again tonight. But that really does work. Okay, do journaling. So that is my biggest problem, is waking up in the middle of the night and going, oh no, I forgot to do such and such. Oh no, I forgot to do this. Oh my gosh. So I keep empty envelopes around to write some notes on, things that I don't have to keep, up with in a notebook or whatever, just to write some of these things down, so that I don't, hello Stacy, so I don't forget about them. So journaling can be a great way, write down something happy that happened today, or write down some things that you need to get taken care of, write down some things that you did get taken care of so that you can go, look, check, and you can check them off of your list. Decaf tea. Again, decaf tea or some kind of a bedtime tea is a great thing to do before bed, to do as your winding down thing. Read, not an ebook. Sorry, but you can read before you go to bed. And think about what makes you happy. So go back to, and we're not done yet, so those of you that need to go in 2 minutes, sorry. Okay, Tedders, it's lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And hold on, I'll show you. It is, oh, nope, sorry, I can't show you the peppermint because I took it in there for Alyssa. So it's 2 drops of lemon, 2 drops of lavender, and then 2 drops of peppermint. And sorry, I took the peppermint in there because I also put like a dot of it on her pillow. But anyway, remember last week we talked about happiness. So thinking of things that made you happy that day can help you go ahead and go on to sleep, because I have a tendency to think about things that made me unhappy, or people who upset me, or to dwell on things that don't need to be dwelled on. Or if I wake up in the middle of the night, to think unhappy thoughts. So I have to squelch the unhappy thoughts and think of happy thoughts. Okay, so things that you can try. You can try things in food that are known to help with your sleep. So I'm going to tell you as quickly as I can talk the And Esther says, wonderful to see you again, even if it's on my phone. It's wonderful to see you too, or I'll talk to you on my phone. So things that can help you with your sleep. Again, to go to sleep or to stay asleep. So magnesium, either taken as a pill or in food, is a great thing. Melatonin, and you can take that orally, or there are some things that'll help your body to create that. And Liz says, I like you more every week. Okay, I like you too a lot every week. I don't know what I did, but yay, thank you. Tryptophan, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. And we're going to talk about some sleep enhancing foods. So the best foods for sleep. So there are 4, and I'm going to read this part. There are 4 main. Wanda says, I use a CPAP machine. How would I be able to use the sense? Let's think about that. I don't know. Somebody that has a CPAP machine, can she put that in there? We'll have to think about that one. I'll really have to think about that one. But anyway, I'm going to read this first part. There are 4 main vitamins and minerals that can be found in food that aid in promoting sleep. Tryptophan, magnesium, calcium, and B6. Do you ever think about that? B6. So I do take a B supplement. And Liz says, you're just so human and you get us. Oh, because I am you. I is you. That's why, but thank you very much. Some of these substances help the body produce melatonin, the hormone that is responsible for regulating your circadian rhythm, the sleep and wake patterns, that daytime, nighttime, don't get it mixed up. When you're close to bedtime, melatonin production naturally increases to help you sleep. So for people who are not naturally creating melatonin, or if there are some medicines will reduce that, or there are some, oh, thank you, Esther. Yeah, human, you go, girl. I am human. That will help you to produce that, or you can take a supplement. And like some older people need one because they do get mixed up. Okay, so but your melatonin production tapers off at some point before you get up, so that you can be awake and alert the next day. For some of us, I think it tapers off a little early, which at 2 o'clock for me. Okay, so tryptophan is one of those, and it is an amino acid that when you ingest it, it turns into a neurotransmitter called serotonin. And again, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but I did have to take chemical biology 3 times. Organic chemistry 3 times at UT because I didn't pass it the first 2 times. Anyway, so so the serotonin gets converted into melatonin. So some things that are loaded with tryptophan. Think about it. Turkey. Everybody thinks turkey. And yes, turkey is one of those things. Turkey, cheese, but some other things. So a lot of dairy products, milk, low-fat yogurt, and cheese, or non-fat yogurt. Poultry, turkey, or chicken, seafood, shrimp, salmon, halibut, tuna, sardines, or cod, nuts. And I know nuts are higher in points, but a little bit, it's not going to hurt us. But you can also use flaxseed, sesame seed. A lot of the things that are on here are also part of the MIND diet. So just pay attention to this correlation here between WW, the MIND diet, and also helping you sleep. So a lot of these things literally are going hand in hand. Legumes, so kidney beans, lima beans, black beans, split peas, chickpeas, also MIND diet, also 0 points on WW. Fruits, apples, bananas, peaches, and avocado. All starting to sound familiar, right? Vegetables such as spinach, broccoli, turnip greens, asparagus, onions, and seaweed. Anyway, hand in hand. So good night, Alicia. And grains, wheat, rice, barley, corn, and oats. So again, hand in hand. Magnesium is another thing. My accountability buddy Karen takes magnesium because it keeps her legs from cramping. And if your legs aren't cramping and you can go to sleep, awesome. It is 9:04, so I will talk as fast as I can. But magnesium, it is a powerful mineral. It's instrumental in sleep, and it's a natural relaxant. So it helps you. It helps to deactivate your adrenaline. So it helps your adrenaline to not, run. So if you don't want to take a magnesium supplement, Karen's is low enough that she does take a supplement. But if you don't want to, the excellent sources of magnesium, and again, WW, MIND diet, and sleeping. All hand in hand. Leafy greens, like baby spinach, kale, and collard greens. Nuts and seeds, almonds, sunflower, the same list that I read before. Wheat germ, that's a new addition. Fish, salmon, halibut, tuna, mackerel. I'm reading all the same things. Soybeans, bananas, 0 points in bananas. Avocados, wish those were 0, and low-fat yogurt. So y'all see where this is all going? And Rosie, nutritional yeast does have B vitamins in it. So I'm going to say that, yes, I do consume that almost every day. And Betty, my legs cramp, and I take iron for that, but my iron is really low. So Karen's legs are, it's a different kind of cramping than mine. So she takes magnesium, I take iron. Good night, Esther. Go to bed. Yeah, it's way past your bedtime. Okay, then other things that are, I'm sorry, so the magnesium. So that's all, again, WW, mind, diet, and sleeping, all hand in hand. Calcium helps the brain make melatonin. So if you don't want to take melatonin, you can just make sure that you're getting enough calcium, because the diet rich in calcium has been shown to help with insomnia. So dairy products can also contain tryptophan and calcium, and they are among the best things to help you go to sleep. So dark leafy greens, come on. Apparently we all need to be eating spinach or kale every single day. Low-fat milk, cottage or cheeses, yogurt, low-fat or non-fat yogurt, sardines, fortified cereal, soybeans, fortified orange juice, enriched breads and grains, green snap peas. Green snap peas. Maybe that's why I like them so much. Okra and broccoli. Okay, and vitamin B6, we just talked about that. The B vitamins are really good for your mind. They're really good for your health, overall health, and they are good for helping you go to sleep and fall to sleep. So some of the best sources of B6 without taking a supplement are some seeds, pistachio nuts, flaxseed. We talked about that last week for the mind diet. Fish, tuna, salmon, halibut. Have I said tuna, salmon, and halibut? This is like the 3rd or 4th time now. All 0-point foods now. Lean meats like chicken, tuna, lean pork, and lean beef. Dried prunes. Not going to see me doing that. Bananas. I think this is the 3rd time I've said bananas. Avocado. Wish avocado was 0 or at least lower points. And Sylvia made the salmon we made last week, but she substituted. And Vicky, I get the snap peas at Kroger. Kroger has a giant bag of them. Giant bag. Let's see. And avocado and spinach. More spinach. Okay, and then melatonin. Okay, melatonin. So a lot of the things that are on the list have tryptophan, which turns into serotonin, which turns into melatonin. But there is some naturally occurring, yes, and we do need to change our bedtime snacks, Sandra. Exactly. We all need to be eating spinach and salmon for bedtime snacks, but 4 hours before bed. So fruits and vegetables, tart cherries, everything that I looked at, every single thing that I looked at, tart cherries was like at the top of the list. So how awesome is that? Let's see. So tart cherries, corn, asparagus, tomatoes, pomegranate, olives, grapes, broccoli and cucumbers, grains, rice, barley, and rolled oats, nuts and seeds. There's those nuts and seeds again. Drinks that are great for sleep. Warm milk, almond milk, valerian tea, chamomile tea. John just fell out of the bed. Chamomile tea, tart cherry juice, passion fruit tea. This has it in there too. And peppermint tea. The worst foods for sleep. Anything that has caffeine, spicy foods, alcohol. Sorry. You okay? Foods that are high in fat. Foods that are too high in protein right near bedtime. Foods containing a lot of water right before you go to bed. So remember, try to cut all these things off 4 hours before you go to bed. So like if you ate a whole bunch of watermelon as your snack before you went to bed, I'm thinking you're going to be up. All night, or eating heavy meals. Okay, so all that. Oh, kiwi. Kiwi was another thing that I found that had a lot of magnesium in it. Okay, so Vicky, in the freezer. What's in the freezer? I missed that part. What is in the freezer? So everybody has a good idea now, right? Of things that you can not do, or try to try and help you go to sleep and stay asleep. And remember, if you do wake up, and I'm going to try this tonight, so if you do wake up, don't be a clock watcher. Don't have the clock watching syndrome. So I'm going to let you all go. Oh, the snap peas are fresh. So at Kroger, they are fresh, and they are in a giant bag. At Kroger, it's a huge bag like this. You don't have to buy the huge bag. Excuse me, but Alyssa and I eat enough of them that we do that. Okay, so I'm going to let you all go to bed. because you need to go to bed. So it is 9:09, and if you're going to have any chance of getting your 7 hours of sleep, since none of us are going to get 9, yeah, then you're going to need to go into bed. So again, your homework for this week was to find something that you're going to do 30 minutes before bedtime to relax yourself, calm down, chill, get ready for bed. You're going to practice that, and you're going to tag me in your homework so that I can give you your Bravo stickers during the week, and so that I can give you your Bravo stickers here next week. And everybody, find something on here. It's no coincidence. It is no coincidence. Oh, and the sugar snap peas, we just eat them. We literally just eat them. They're good if you steam them for about 30 seconds, Lisa, but we literally just eat them cold. But anyway, so try to find some things on this list. No coincidence that WW, the Mind Diet, and the things for sleep, a lot of these, you know, are repeats. So everybody have a great week. I hope you all will watch this later again on YouTube, because I know I talked a lot and it was really fast. So if you're watching this later on YouTube, just remember to subscribe, watch the next video, or order a Spreadshirt over here. That would be awesome if you would do that to help support us, because that does help to pay for some of the materials that we use. So everybody have a great week. Dusty is already practicing his sleeping. Dusty, come here, buddy. Oh, see, he must think we have food. Okay, I'm going to grab him so y'all can see how sleepy he is. Maybe that'll make you sleepy. Come here. I highly recommend winding down with a cockapoo for 30 minutes before bedtime. Oh, come here. Ugh. So here's Dusty. He can be your calming. He can be your calming for the 30 minutes before you go to bed. So say good night, everybody. Good night. So y'all can just think happy thoughts about Dusty as you are going to bed in your cold room with your blanket. So everybody have a good evening. I want to hear how you all do, and I want to hear what ideas you have, and I want to know how this worked for you, how your new sleep regimen worked for you, and I'll let y'all know how it works for me too. So I'm going to go make some of this tea. I'm going to start my 30-minute wind down, and I'll see you all later. Good night. See you next week.